doesn't get better than that.
Last week on The Club.
So have you bought the Collingwood jumper number 4 for it yet?
Definitely probably the greatest experience of my life. It was an amazing time. We were lucky to have a little daughter called Indiana. It's always playing for a family when you're at Collingwood. You either got your own family, you've got the Collingwood family.
That's a nice handball off to McCarthy. You can run on and have a shot here. McCarthy goals.
As you can imagine, it's a big shock to everyone, and everyone's pretty devastated about it all. There's some guys that were extremely close with John. I guess we don't know how it's going to affect the playing group. What I do know is that players will have to mourn. They'll have to go through that process, and we'll see come Saturday how much effect that has. But look, from our perspective, we just try and get around each other and try and support each other as much as we can.
There's a bit of aggro. Collingwood, I think, are instigating the aggro a bit.
There's the bounce. Old habits die hard.
As a group, it wasn't discussed that anyone was going to be aggressive or go hard or anything like that. It's just they're the stakes, and that happens across the board, I guess, with every game. No one thought there were a chance of winning, so for us to go out there, we wanted to make sure that Hawthorn knew we were in it to win. We weren't here to make up the numbers.
So here's Maxwell, liked his start to the game, belts the ball on, Cloak! Oh. Well, he just about moved everything there.
Wellingham across the shoulder, is it good? It's tight, he's kicked a wonderful goal. Ellis, he fires inside the forward 50, getting personal down there, and the beneficiary is Gunston.
Puopolo's down. His direct opponent was Maxwell. That was off the ball. We'd have to have another look at that. There's an umpire looking for his foot there.
For me, I never meant to do any damage. It was something I've done 100 times every week, trying to stop a forward from getting back to the contest, and technically I've just got to make sure that I'm better next time. Come Saturday morning, obviously there's a lot of talk about my report and what would happen, and although everyone wants to stick a camera in your face and a microphone under your mouth, you can't say anything, and they know I can't say anything, but it's a good overlay, I guess, for the news.
How are you feeling this morning? A little nervous?
No, fine, mate. Unfortunately, when it's a Friday night game, there's 3 days before the result comes through, so obviously I'm going through Saturday where I keep thinking about it and knowing what's happened, and it can be frustrating, but you've got to try and, I guess, put your mind elsewhere. On Monday morning I came in here, and my whole focus was just about getting the group up and making sure that I didn't think anything about the tribunal or what was going to happen. So we started off with our usual leadership meeting in the morning. Spoke about just general things that we speak about as a leadership group. Coming out of there, Bucks grabbed me and David Butterford and took us into his room. He sat us down and said that it looks like Johnny McCarthy's lost his life in Vegas. I was just thinking straight away, right, how are we going to manage this and what are we going to do? How are we going to look after the... I knew there was sort of probably 7 or 8 guys who were really close with him still, and how are we going to inform them? We grabbed
the 7 or 8 guys were really close to him and took him into a room and with Walshy and Bucks and Purdy, and basically just explained to him what had happened. And obviously, it was great devastation amongst that group in particular because they're so close to Johnny. So that was pretty challenging. I left the room and went and chased up basically the whole football department, from trainers to physios and everyone through to players and coaches. We had everyone together, and Purdy could give the terrible news to everyone in the club. It was pretty hard. Training wasn't something we didn't go out there to achieve a brilliant training session. We just went out there to sort of be together, and everyone was sort of asking each other questions and trying to work out how this could happen. And some probably didn't want to believe that it had happened. For a lot of them, it's the first time they've had to deal with losing someone so close to them. So I guess that's where a lot of my energy's been this week, and making sure that they are all okay. Monday night I sort of got home, and I guess that's when it really hit me, and the shock of it all really hit me. I think I probably put the reality of the situation to the side to try and focus on the younger boys and what we needed to do to help them out. And when I was sitting on the couch just with Aaron and Miller, and the news came on and I saw Johnny's face, and that's sort of when it hit home to me that never going to see him again, and he's no longer with us. And Walshy rang me, I guess at a similar time, and told me that I'd been given 3 weeks and 2 with an early plea, which obviously I was gutted about. And I think that didn't hit me either, because I was dealing with the Johnny stuff. And later on that night, you get angry about the suspension, and angry that you've put yourself in that situation, and angry that the people have given you that suspension. And then I'd think of J-Mac and what happened, and I'd forget all about it and didn't care about what had happened. So it was about Johnny, and then it flashes up on the news that he'd been suspended, and then you start thinking about that again. So just this big yo-yo, we keep going through it all. Tuesday morning, we got everyone together down at the beach, and I made a decision then that, well, I wasn't going to have to focus on football in terms of me having to play. I still had an important role to play within the group. So Butters basically said, all right, boys, everyone can go and swim around that pole. I said, well, how about, I've been suspended, I've let the boys down, how about I just go? Will you allow that? And he said, yeah, right, I'll allow that. The way I see the role of a captain is for the club. For me, I think no egos is probably the most important one, knowing that it's not about you. And in the end, if you want to get pats on the back for what you do, you're never going to reach your full potential as a leader. I think that if you go about your business and tick every box, you will get that success and get whatever it is you really want. If you talk to people out there, the general public, they think my season's over. I haven't thought about that for a second, that my season's over. I'm just thinking that I'll be playing in a couple of weeks' time. The biggest thing for me is the fear of failure as an individual. For me, my whole focus is just squeezing every last drop out of myself as a player and as a leader and for the club, and make sure that I'm ready come grand final day.
Want to be above 350, let's go! We're balling, we're back! I knew! 20 to go! 20! Go! Come on, right there!
The biggest competition here is against yourself. It's pretty handy if you have a little voice in the back of your head and say, look, just go easy on yourself. You heard the little voice go. It's natural.
no matter how hard you think that is, you know it's nowhere near what the boys are going to go through in the 2 hours over there. With 70,000 watching. In a sense, we've got it easy.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. One of Dave Butterfin's favourite days of the week. He gets everyone who's not playing, so rehabbers usually, but obviously because the VFL aren't playing anymore, that we go through all them as well, and basically just he just murders us, goes to town on us. I actually don't know how I feel about it tonight. I'm not ready for my season to be over, so I guess I'm just hoping and praying that the boys come with a good frame of mind and can get the job done. And I guess for me, the planning's been around trying to get to a grand final and trying to plan for a grand final and prepare for a grand final. So you can't really think of it any other way. And I think that once the ball's bounced and the boys start going at it, then I'll be itching to get out there, and it'll hit me. But again, I can't concentrate. I just got to think about what I can do and how I can actually help, and if there's any influence I can have on the team and the group. So if you look back, you're not going forward.
I've spoken to Buxton about my role and what he wants from me, so I'll be sitting in the box. He basically said another set of eyes up there, I guess from someone whose opinion he trusts, can only be a good thing.
Go, Brady. Go, Brady. Boys seem to be in a pretty good headspace, so it's hard because when you're not playing, you just don't know. You don't know so many questions. You don't know if they're ready, you don't know if they're right, and you can't influence it. So it's probably the hardest part, that you're guessing the whole time. But everything we've done this week has been positive, and I think we've had a really good week. Now it's just up to the boys to get the job done.
Top, look at him explode out of the blocks, got the handball away, Collingwood with the tackle, Embley tried to keep it alive. Marston, a bit of a no-look handball, ends with a Harry O'Brien, he gets a really good look, off a step, I think he's got it, he has, Collingwood get there first. Johnson gets onto that left foot now, left foot high to the top of the square, Dawes was being held perhaps, and Pendlebury has taken the mark. Cox did really well to Kennedy, shovels off the handball to McGinnity, McGinnity gets a look at an open goal square, Hill will get back and take the mark, and kick a certain goal, and they lead by 11.
And defensively, defenders have held up really well. Yeah. Really good, boys, really good. It was, scoreboard will come, keep working. Yeah.
I need to be a go-between between Bucks and the coaches and the players. So Bucks obviously has a game plan that he wants us to adhere to. For me, it's making sure guys understand why we are doing things and trying to implement them and knowing that they're the things that they're going to give us the best result.
You do it. Give us everything you've got right now, and then we'll go up.
Winner to play Sydney next Friday night. Only led in the first minute of the game. Other than that, Collingwood have been behind. Pendlebury out of the middle with some wizardry work. Goes short for Solo on the hands. This time couldn't get hold of it. Goldsack. Knock out to Thomas. Thomas around the corner, kicks the goal. Collingwood are in front.
Likes his chances here.
He does. Fancies them, does. Right where the 50-metre line intersects the boundary. Told to play on. That's a good thumping ball. I tell you what, if that's not touched, it's a goal. Blair gets it. Collingwood by 17. Darling lessens the angle. Didn't make it work. Big jump of the ball, Mark Kennedy. Kennedy with that familiar run up to put West Coast in front. He snuck it in and West Coast lead by 2 points. That kick is horrible from Beams. Beams sees Goldsack. Goldsack will mark directly in front of goal. Tyson Goldsack missed a couple early. That looks very, very good. Collingwood back in front. Countdown on now. West Coast were gallant, had their opportunities. Collingwood have won.
Very proud of the boys. They were outstanding. What's been a tough week for the club, tough week for a lot of individuals. Just very proud of them. So we'll regroup. We'll honour J-Mate next week at his funeral, and we'll make sure we prepare as best we can for Sydney now and a preliminary final. So, let it out, mate. Let it out. Let it out. Outstanding. For me, I'll start cranking up the training on Monday and train hard all week. Do what I can out in the track to try and help the boys and make them better. And from there, fingers crossed that I haven't played my last game for the year.